The government just released a report on personal income and spending. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger is here with the results and to explain why the Federal Reserve prefers this report when it comes to inflation. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello. All right, last year ended with a burst of spending. So how did we begin this year?
Little different. We saw incomes up by 1% in January from December. So that's good. Spending was up by 0.2%. Now, this is interesting because I always look at this because I'm such a nerd. And I say, well, what does that mean in terms of saving? Like, you make more money. So the savings rate right now is 3.8%. What I found interesting is I went back and I said, well, what was it in January of 2020 before the pandemic? It was almost twice that. So we have not gotten back into our saving habit as well as we should have, at least since the pandemic.
Wow. All right. There's an inflation reading in this report. What did it show?
Well, it's very fancy. It's called the Personal Consumption Expenditure Index, PCE for the cool kids.
Okay.
So here's what it showed. It showed that inflation at this measure was up by 2.4% from a year ago. Now, consistent with what we've been seeing, goods came down, the inflation rate down, and services accelerated. Food prices still higher than a year ago, energy prices down. Now, when we pull out food and energy, this core rate came in at 2.8%, up 2.8% from a year ago. The Fed loves this measure, by the way. They want to see it get towards 2%, but it's good we're below 3%, slow going here as we try to approach that 2% level.
All right, so why does the Fed favor this report?
It's a very weird thing, because you hear me talk about the Consumer Price Index. That's the one that's more popular. The Federal Reserve says this is the report that they think more accurately reflects what's going on basically in your lived experience in the economy. So they do look at CPI. They think this is a more accurate reading. So they take everything together. Remember, they're going to be meeting soon. They're not going to do anything at the next meeting. I said that after the first meeting of the year. Definitely not going to happen in the second meeting of the year. But I do think what's important is they're very focused on seeing whether or not those services, all that other stuff in the economy, whether it's you're getting your hair cut or it's travel or it's hotels or eating out for dinner, they want to see that part of inflation start to decelerate, and they definitely want to see the shelter component come down.
Jill, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
I appreciate it. And you can see Jill regularly on CBS Mornings and the CBS Evening News with Norah O'Donnell. For more analysis, go to JillOnMoney.com.